Teresa.
Hi.
I'm happy to chat with you. So I want you to give me the top highlight of your career.
I think the top highlight for my career that propelled me into this, what I'm doing today, is when I was at Microsoft and I was in a conference room and we had 12 executives come in and I was getting prepared to present to them. And one of the executives walked around the room and he got everybody's coffee order. And I saw him quickly and he was getting the list. And we have about 20 minutes before the meeting's going to start. And he came to me last. And in that moment, I realized what he was doing. I was the only woman in the room and I was going to go get that coffee order. He did me a favor of getting the coffee order, but he wanted me to go get it because the bias in the room is I'm the woman, I am the helper, and I should go do it because that's a woman's job. And when he got to me, I said, "Oh, Alon, are you getting coffee?" And he goes, "Yes." I said, "I would love the largest latte you can get with no flavor. I don't need the extra sugar." And then I pulled out my wallet, leaned down, pull out my wallet. And I said, "Do you need money for that?" And he stood there shocked. And he said, "No." He makes 3 times my salary. So he said no. And he turns to one of the coworkers and says, "Come with me so we can get the coffee." After that moment, every time we had a meeting, I had a latte at my desk and never had to ask for it or pay for it again.
Yeah.
And that's breaking his bias and then defining for me that I can help people break that bias.
Yeah. So share with everybody why bias is a problem.
Bias is a problem because it happens all the time. You did it at the coffee shop this morning. You judged the person in front of you for their complex coffee order or what they were wearing or how they were standing, their confidence level. You judge them on that. And it's we do it naturally. It's what protects us. But bias becomes a problem for people because it blocks us from opportunities. I can't go approach them because I don't feel I'm worthy enough or they are projecting something that I'm not. It's my own bias that's preventing me from taking the reins and moving forward. So if I'm a leader, I'm biased about an employee's performance when reality is their mother just passed away and I'm not engaging with them. I just think they're lazy. So I am forming my own bias and making opinions about people that's blocking me from opportunities.
Where does one start, right? Because we all, I think, can identify that we live with bias. It's naturally, as you have already shared, ingrained in us. But how does one make the decision, okay, I don't know how you would help with it. Where do you get started?
You get started by identifying it.
Okay.
You have to own up to it. You have to be real, hold the mirror in front of you and say, I have this bias. And you have to own it and identify it. You cannot do that alone.
Yeah.
You cannot do that alone in the mirror at home. You must have someone that guides you through that.
Interesting.
So you must have someone that's willing to tell you, I think you have a bias here. And then you also have to be receptive to say, you're right. Now that I know what it is, now you have to identify when the trigger happens.
Yeah.
And those 2 pieces, knowing it and when the trigger happens, then you can start to overcome it.
How do you, in a setting with a group of entrepreneurs and leaders, Teresa, how do you get them to say, I need this, when they don't potentially have someone in their world to tell them you're biased? All right.
So what I do for leaders, what my very first exercise with leaders is I always sit down and say, tell me about your best employee and tell me about your worst employee. And then I have them tell me why.
Yeah.
And then now you can see the bias.
That's so good.
You identify 2 things, the good and the bad, and then you have them identify why one's good and bad. And then you drill into, well, why is the bad employee that way?
Yeah, that's good. That's very good. Yay. Thank you so much, Teresa.
Thank you.